Okay, so in this video, I'm going to implement a simple login functionality using Laravel Sanctum and ReactJS. This video is separate from my other videos, which is building an application tracker. So let's start. The first thing I'm going to do is install Laravel. Right now I'm scanning the documentation. Okay, so this is the command for installing a new app. I'm going to call it backend. Simple as that. Alright, it's done. Okay, there's a backend there. Next, I'm going to install React. Using npm. The name of the project will be frontend. React TypeScript, and then cd frontend npm install. So this installation may take time, so let's wait. Alright, it's done. According to the guide, just run this pnp run dev pnpm. Right, it's working. In the back end, we need to run the Laravel. So let's go to backend and then run php artisan serve. Okay, so Laravel is running at 127.1.0.0.1 8000, while the front end is running at localhost 5174. The next thing we're going to do, let's enable the Sanctum. So I'm going to scan the documentation. According to the documentation, this will be the artisan command that I'm going to run to be able to establish an API using Sanctum. So let's run the I forgot. I need to set up the database. Backend env pg I'm not sure if that will be pending migration. No, for now. I did not set up a database. As API tokens in user. Let's establish the database PGSQL using PostgreSQL dbhost 5432, and then what will be the available sudo PostgreSQL. YouTube. So I'm going to create another database instead. Create sudo u postgres create db YouTube 1 create db not found. Okay, you should be seeing YouTube 1. Alright, then I'm going to use YouTube 1 here. YouTube 1, the password, username is my name, password, just password. Aside from that, session domain, this one 127.0.0.1 or 123 2000, and let's leave the rest for now for the env. Now let's run migration PHP artisan migrate seed. Alright, So to check, let's list the database. SQL D, then YouTube on AF queries. So these are the migrated tables. John's, session users, zoom, select asterisk from users. So there are test example recorded in the. Alright, so we can now work into that. Okay, currently reading the documentation. According to the documentation, I need to publish the course. Publish course. So there should be course.php. And then allowed origin. I'm going to add here http slash localhost port 5174 for the front end. Then I'm going to change this to true. What else? Sanctum. Yeah, that's at least session driver database. Let's change the session to cookie. The routes API. Yeah, it's ready. User. PHP artisan route list. Route list.log. There is API user Sanctum. I have here some request earlier to this using Thunder client. Get user. Right, because PHP artisan serve is not running unauthenticated. Makes sense, unauthenticated. So let's create an authentication. Artisan make controller login controller. Yeah. Okay, so let's define a function, public function login. This must be a request with request, then request validate password, validated, response JSON token. Alright, according to the documentation, that is correct, but it needs to be changed to something else. According to the documentation, this is how you create a token. Request user, create a token. But I think it needs to be logged in first as well. So log in the user using email and password and apply this. Alright. Use both attempt. This is the attempt email validated password. Then create token, return token. Right. And then let's create a route for API that PHP route good automatic detected. So that's it. Now PHP artisan route list. Okay, we have an API there. Now I have a login here. This example password. Null given, so there is wrong AI. Null given. Create token. There must be token name. null given. Yeah, understood. Token. So this is the token, getter token. I'm gonna use this to make a request here in the user. Yes, validated. So that's basically it. If I'm going to add a character here, yeah, authenticated. So that works. So basically this is the login. Protective routes. I'm currently reading the documentation. So that's for the login. Public function logout. Then let's go to API. Then create a route here for you can duplicate this one. Log out. That is the still a post. But I think this needs to have a middleware. Sanctum. So to be able to make a request on middleware, we need to have this. Bearer. Now if we can request, if we log out, okay, we should not be right, it's working. Log out, I think log out should be in a separate controller. Just log in, log out, or this should be an authentication auth controller instead. Auth controller. And then let's make this an auth controller. Oops. We see this working. So that's the basic of logout. Now on the front end, you can see main. Let's clear this. React DOM index.css, app.css, then the app I need that. Preview and editor. Right, there's the hello. Now let's make it a form. Make it a login. Simple login. Then aside from that, I'm going to have a copy of this admin. Yeah, remove. Alright. So this is admin. So h1. Hi. Welcome back. What's that beside? Now let's focus here on admin, main. So currently I'm writing the documentation of the React router. And according to React router, this should be the command to install the React DOM. Takes time. So while waiting for that, from the documentation, it says create router from React router DOM, and then define a route similar to this. Let's make this the app. this one should be like that. Document by it's been long. Now there are some error here because we are working on TypeScript, not JavaScript. So it's complaining. So we can fix that by saying fix it. There's a question mark. What's question mark? Punctuation mark. What's that for? Creates root React element using DOM element with ID. What's the for? Is a non-null assertion operator in TypeScript. Non-null. It is used to assert that the value is not null or undefined. In the code snippet, is used after getElementById function call to indicate that the return value will not be null. This is necessary because getElementById can return null if the statement with the specified ID does not exist in the DOM. But what takes it so long? So while busy on that, let's add another path here, the admin, and then admin. Admin, it's just a copy of this. Oops. Admin.tsx. Admin. But I think there's a problem with admin app. Then in that admin, right? Then we can define an action here. Action app. Yeah, that will be fine. Request. So TypeScript is complaining. So fix it. As any type. Set cookie. It told the AI to fix a request, and then there should be a type here. Request. Right, I believe. Console request. This request, there should be a form data request that from data and cons like payload, that's it. And why it's complaining, no overload matches this call. This declare by its value is never used. And then use it here. What's this? No overload. The reason talks too long because it should be PNPM. But why is no overload matches this code? What is no overload? Now it's not complaining because it was installed now. Action, action. Void is not assignable. Anyway, let's create an action. And let's call that here. Right. Capture my. Let's remove that. Export. Action async. Request. Then according to TypeScript, it should be like that. It's declare but its value never used. Yeah. Okay. Data, and then we can payload object entries, data entries. Fine. No need for data entries, only data. Yeah, and it should return some null for now. Then the form must be a capital form from the router method post. What's your name? Right, wrap them with div each. Right. They must have an autocomplete. Okay, current. So that's it. Username, password. Then we need some actions here. But before that, we need to install actions. npm right. Now Windows that apps assign actions. Then let's import actions from actions. Default I forgot the syntax. Add default URL. Base URL, yeah. Base URL should be 127.0. Right, that's it. Common header. What else? With X, I forgot the syntax. X srf token with credentials. No, there isn't token. Currently reading the documentation again. According to Laravel documentation, another one is XRF token. So once we have that, then part of the window we can access actions globally. Then here we can use actions await actions that get payload that thing backend. I think I have a route list. Should be making a request here. Sanctum cookie with some headers. Accept content type JSON. That's it. Will not find actions. Return null. And if this is successful, then we can issue again another request post to API login, the same header with the payload in the header. Oh wait, then once we get the response, from the actions, then response, why it's complaining, we can use this response here. If response you can set the common header. Set this as common header authorization using bearer token. Right, data token. Alright, then return now, but not return now, return redirect to admin. This redirect must be defined using use navigate redirect now. Then redirect to admin once successfully logged in. Okay, let's try. Test at example.com. An error. It is requesting to this one. Why? I walked on the browser for a better overview what happened. Admin test at example. Default boundary. It's talking about default boundary. For method post and then app action. App action. App action. So this is the issue. The email is required. So let's see what we are getting here. Username, right. Must be email. And on the login, auth controller, just name that as token. Right, so yes, at example.com. Alright, it redirects. But how about wrong email? Authentication field. Invalid credentials. About password. Ah, I entered the correct. And then just a wrong password. Yeah. Providing own error boundary or error element prop in the route. Yeah, I know. So it's working. We can now log in, but the problem is if we go to admin, we can visit the admin. So to prevent that, we need to define context API and then protected routes. So here there is the source. So let's create a directory in the source directory called contacts, and then inside that context you can create auth providers that tsx, right? Then export default function providers. We need to create context here. Create context. Export. What context now? Is that correct? Now? Then we're going to return what context provider. This one must be value, and then here children. Then we need the children as well here. Children. Any. Constant value, and then since this is, we need a user here. User, and then some kind of loading, and then we can modify the user state from set user. And use effect. Okay, fetch user async API user access that get history user get, yeah, get. And we need to have some headers. Content type application JSON, comma. Now response with data, response JSON, response data item, set loading false. Yeah, we need to structure this to try catch. Finally, alright, set user in here, run once, loading value. There's an error. It's not assignable. It's not assignable. Fix. That's wrong. Type user null, loading boolean. It's not assignable. It's not assignable. It should be assignable. Now let's wrap this with that one. Our providers. Then let's define another context route protected. Protected route. protected route, gonna need the out context, export, default, function, return children, then fonts, user loading from use context, out context, then here I'm gonna use loading, then if user children null, and why is this complaining? Location it's ref. We're gonna use navigate. Use navigate. If user then navigate admin, else navigate back to I'm not sure of this. Should work. Then move there, and then okay, let's try. Yeah, the fact that this one comes back to login, I can assume it's working. Let's enter that. Test at no, it's not working. password. But it did not there's missing implementation to the root protected. That is loading. I can add some checker here. Check. F. Not check. Port provider. Set loading to false. This is true. This is false. So if this is false and all right. Now for the log out, will it be it should redirect. If login, it should redirect. So there should be another kind of protective routes, another layer for this one to check if the user is already logged in, then return back to admin and then the log out. So for the next video, I'm going to tackle the layer here and then the log out, and that's all for now.